A corn pod.
I feel like that looks more already.
Yeah.
Like I look not as like, wah.
Yeah. You gotta get yourself all set up.
Yeah. And then I do that, and then I realize I'm hunching forward, so I have to move it back up anyway.
Yeah.
Like an idiot. I feel like we're so close to each other again.
Like this.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little bit further now, which is good.
Yeah, it's the start. It was like,
Yeah.
how are you doing today?
Yeah. Welcome to the Corn Corner podcast. I'm Wicked Wren, and I'm trying to shut up about the sun.
I'm Cam Damage, and I got in trouble for downloading a hentai on the family computer.
And today, we're talking about something that started somewhere. And the thing about everything is that it has to start sometime.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the early times of this thing. We're going to talk about it when it was in its infancy. We're talking about the early internet.
That was a really great way to phrase that.
So get your dial-ups, get your modems,
Bring your modem into the main room.
get your AOL disk, and stop on by the Corn Corner today.
I was gonna say, kick your older brother off the phone. You can't be using them both at the same time.
Did you experience that with the phone?
Yeah, like you couldn't have both going on at the same time. Like, I don't like to be the person that's like, kids these days.
Yeah.
But kids these days.
It's really what the Corn Corner's turned into.
Yeah. They don't know what it was like to have dial-up internet. Or to get your AOL CD-ROM in the mail with your whatever fucking 60 minutes of like usable time. Like,
See, I don't remember any of this. Like, I don't remember the phone thing.
aren't we the same age?
We are, but I don't. But
Well, I feel like it's because of siblings.
that's
and
probably
stuff
it.
like that. Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Because the internet was like a lot more utilized in my house, probably.
I wonder if you were you were shown more things because you had siblings that had varying interests.
Like on the internet.
No, well, I mean, the internet being one of them, but as I've said many times, I didn't use the internet like most people use the internet. I didn't understand.
Such a foreboding statement when people don't know what you're actually talking about.
Like, I didn't play games. I didn't download music. I did after a while when I heard all my friends talking about LimeWire.
Yeah.
I went and downloaded the new Metallica song that was actually some random garage band in Minneapolis or something.
That's so funny.
I did all that kind of stuff.
But also before LimeWire, there was like, you know, Morpheus and Kazaa and Napster, whatever. Like, I think,
I didn't do any of that.
Yeah. That's a whole thing.
And the whole like nefarious internet that people were into, didn't do any of it.
The dark web.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that
The meme
stuff.
that's like me at 10 years old watching a dude get.
I didn't do any of that stuff. Like,
So what? I've asked you this before. No, I asked you like what you did after school or something. What were you doing?
I was playing Kingdom Hearts. I was playing Final Fantasy X. I was
you
playing
weren't doing
Guitar
anything
Hero.
on like the computer on the internet.
No, I was playing drums. I was like playing music. I was like,
I'm so sorry. Maybe
Yeah.
you had actual activities that you were doing, and you weren't just trolling the family computer.
I mean, I didn't. I remember playing bonus games, bonus.com. There's this one with 49ers player, like, and he would run and you had to dodge things. So I
Yeah.
remember playing that and thought it was really fun.
A lot of them were that based. Did you have a family computer?
We did. It was a gateway.
And where was it in the home?
It was like in my dad's office kind of thing, which is like off the living room. It wasn't like secluded or anything like that. Like, it never felt like a place I would just go and like play. But also, I wouldn't know what to do. I would go to like Nickelodeon.com and like look at
Great Flash games on there.
stuff. Yeah. But also, our computers were never like, no one in my family was like a computer person. So nothing ever really worked on the computer.
You didn't have to be a computer person to go on, you know, Internet Explorer.
My best friend growing up, her dad was like big time computer person.
Yeah.
And like he would like scan money and print it and like
For you to play with?
I mean, no, he would kind of just do it as like
Outing this man's counterfeit scheme.
he made a lot of money doing this. No, he would like I remember he got like a really nice like inkjet printer, and he was like, look, I mean, you can like scan money. Look how real it looks. Like that kind of thing.
It sounds pretty sus.
It wasn't. But I remember as a kid being like, is this the infinite money glitch?
Yeah, totally. You came to the store. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But it was like when home printers were getting really good.
Yeah.
And he was like, just like, wow. Anyway, they were a computer family. So like he would bring up a lot of stuff with us. Like he would like, I don't know, like show us games and things.
Did you like go to that friend's house and play computer games?
See, weirdly, it would be like, hey, let me show you this thing on the computer. So like me and her would go to the computer and like fuck around on it. But it was like
not a thing.
It was weird. Like it was like Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah.
It was like some kind of weird Microsoft Painty kind of thing that we would just like click around in.
Yeah.
But it was then we'd go and play like video games.
Oh, okay. I was like, I mean, I played N64, but like when the computer was an option, I was on it.
What were you doing?
So first, it like our family computer went through several iterations or whatever. So there was like the one in Dad's office that was like an IBM or something. We were on the cutting edge in my house.
I love that.
Because my dad needed to have like whatever, that kind of shit for his job. And that sucked. That wasn't anything. Like he played like, do you know that skiing game where you're like a little kind of stick figure skier and there's like a bear and there's like moguls? People know what I'm talking
Nope.
about. The bear has little stick arm legs and whatever. And it's like,
No.
anyway, that and like pinball, the ones that are built into the machine.
Pinball. My dad loved the
It's
pinball.
like the space pinball. Or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah. So those. And then it got upgraded to some other like desktop, like a Dell probably or something. And I think it stayed in my dad's office for a while before going to like the den, which was not the TV room, but another sitting room.
Like a secondary living room.
Yeah. That wasn't oft used. It was like for the computer. And I played like Math Blasters and like Midnight Rescue, which was this really weird one where you're like a reporter kid who was going through schools and stuff, but you're taking pictures of robots who are like the antagonists. It's all so disjointed, like any of those things, or like Mavis Beacon, like the typing. Yeah.
Yes.
I did a lot of those educational ones. And then I think we got to the age where it was like, I was still pretty young, but because of having older siblings, it was like the computer needs to not be in a public space in the home. So we like got a computer in the basement. That was like the kid zone, which is like a huge mistake.
Yeah.
if you ask me. And then things started to really go down there.
Wow.
So I don't remember when it was still upstairs. I wasn't doing like a lot of like internet things, but like one of my sisters totally was, because there were those like porn ads.
Yeah.
You'd like download something and then it'd be stuck on the desktop forever. Like back in the day ones that you were like, ugh, and like you couldn't delete. I don't.
God, that's wild.
So basement. Then I got a computer in my room eventually. Big computer person.
You got one in your, did all of your siblings get a computer in their rooms?
No, I think I was the first one. First and only.
Okay.
As the baby.
Were that, yeah, okay. Because there's an age gap there.
Yeah.
So they were already out and doing stuff.
And I don't think when they were of the age that you would get one, I think it was still when Max had the color. Do you remember? Like,
Yes.
They were so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was those ones. And I think that it wasn't normal to have like a teenager to have one in their room.
Yeah.
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 And then by the time I was, it made sense with like homework and like college shit coming up, whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am trying to think. I guess when I was in like high school and stuff, I would write my like essays and things on like the family computer, like my dad's like work computer.
When you were in college or high school?
High school.
Okay.
And I didn't get a laptop until I went to college. I got like a Windows laptop.
Yeah, I got a laptop for college. I had a desktop before that, for sure.
I'm just trying to think through when I like wrote essays and stuff.
Where was I doing my schoolwork?
I mean, I guess I was doing it on like because I did not have like my computer.
Mine was definitely my dad's computer until I got my own.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes it would still be my dad's computer because it was they knew I had to do homework.
Yeah.
So I had to go do it in like a serious place.
Yeah. Did you play any? I remember playing Abe's Oddworld, Abe's
No.
Odyssey.
Was that like a flash game on
No.
Okay.
It was like a full
disc.
video game. Disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember like it was really kind of weird, and it was like this like kind of alien guy named Abe or something. And
I know the character. I never played. I didn't play a lot of. I played Sims.
I
Like,
played
that's
it-
the extent.
see, I played Abe's Odyssey or whatever because my friend whose dad would counterfeit print money.
Yeah.
Like told us about that game. So then my family was like, all right, let's get this game.
Was it fun?
Yeah. But I also like wasn't, I think this would have probably been before high school. So I was like too young for it, I think. Like I wasn't like good enough to like play games. Like Zelda as a kid was like too hard
So
for
hard.
me.
Yeah.
Like I remember Majora's Mask coming out and like, I couldn't
it was
do
really
it.
hard.
So
I couldn't do that either.
I like wasn't that good. But I also didn't believe in myself as a kid. like I would look at something and be like, oh, that's short. I can't do that. Yeah.
I don't think I ever looked at the computer as a gaming thing. I did play a lot of Flash games on Nick.com, eBombs
Yeah.
World, Newgrounds, whatever. But I think I always looked at it as a means to the outside world as a kid who didn't have a lot of that.
What a cool way of looking at it.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
So it was social media didn't exist for a minute there.
Yeah.
And I think MySpace was probably the first one for our little lives. Maybe.
I think that, I guess that was probably high school.
There were like LiveJournal, Zanga, MySpace. Those were the ones that we were using. Well, that I was using. I don't know if you were Zangaing.
I was not Zanga.
Blogging. But it was before that. It was just AIM or AOL and AOL chat rooms. Womp womp.
I have AOL questions in a second, but I just, it's so wild that you said you saw the computer as a means to the outside.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I saw the computer that way, because my dad owned a small business, and I was like, if I wasn't at home doing my own thing, I was in the truck with him going out.
Going and doing stuff in the world.
Yeah, so it was like I was all over New Orleans with my dad. And in a lot of places that I guess I kind of realized now that like I was not like, I was too young to be in, and I was like made to like be an adult in, you know, where I was like representing the company kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had
You're like, I'm 8.
yeah, I had like real responsibility. I think I probably internalized that like responsibility. And I'm sure when I was like 8, like that responsibility was never real, but it felt that. But then once I got to be like 15, like it was like I had things that I would
You
do.
had probably like a full-time job essentially, where a lot of kids didn't.
Yeah, and but to be clear, it was awesome. Like my dad did it in the best fucking way. Like he never was like, you got to work 40 hours a week. He was like, he would see what I was doing and then work in like a couple hours here and there, you know. And I always like I got paid properly. Like
That's cool.
It was
I think
it was
a lot
on,
of people wouldn't have been paid at all.
it was honestly amazing. The other thing that was really cool my dad did was he kept half of the money that I made from the job and never told me.
Oh.
And he did this all until I went to college. And then that money, like, he like had to like, you know, help with like every like just my
Whatever your college expense stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I didn't need
Cool surprise.
money in high school. When I found out, I was pissed.
Yeah, I half of me, the adult part of me is like, that's tight, good idea.
Yeah.
But if I was a kid, I'd be like, fuck you.
100% a good idea. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% down. He did the right thing. Anyway, I wonder if that's why I didn't look at the internet like that.
It's not like I wasn't out and doing things. My parents took us on trips.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But my daily life was go to school, depending on age, go to field hockey practice, go to more field hockey practice, go home.
Yeah.
And it was that 6
Over and over.
days out of the week. Yeah. And I would hang out with friends sometimes, but it was someone who lived like down the street.
Yeah.
And then my mom would yell outside to have me come home. That was like how like normal in that neighborhood, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is very funny in retrospect. But there wasn't a lot of I didn't have like a huge network of shit outside of field hockey or school, which no one wants to like have that be your whole life. I don't know.
I wonder if that's why like I would go out with my dad hours away from New Orleans, 2 hours away from New Orleans, like just do stuff. So I would be in the car lot. So I had my Game Boy and I had these things. So I think like I kind of got internalized that the world is big and I can do whatever and I have resources to like go wherever or something. I wonder if that's like
nice.
got internalized or something.
What a great life thing.
Yeah.
So you weren't using I talked to friends on AIM or AIM Express, whatever. We already know this about you, that you didn't understand the concept of an away message or a profile info or anything like that.
0%.
So weird.
Never
that
did
was
it.
a place to get it all out there.
See, I never.
Like if you were a little like 12-year-old Dow, you'd be putting periphery lyrics in that away message, and you'd be like wax wings,
Burning like why?
and but you'd like. In that time, you'd be like, "Fuck, I mean this so much," and then we feel the same about these lyrics
that's
now.
so funny.
It's the same as a photo caption or some shit where you title something and that like means a lot to you at the time. But
love it.
That was your little. It was also the way of doing the like vague posting that people do on Twitter, because you would like vague away message about someone or some bullshit.
Wish she would call. Or, like, I don't know.
Just waiting on that text.
God.
But AOL chat rooms, any experience there?
0.
That's so
no
weird
idea.
Like that you didn't do it at all is so weird.
It's so like I'm so removed from it. I remember finding out at some point like what an away message was, and then people being like, "Yeah, you gotta put like a fun away message," and I would put it and be like, "All right, I think that's cool." But I would never go away though. Like
neither did we.
But like
we were waiting for him to come online.
Yeah. But I didn't do any of this.
You heard like the door sound.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you talk to your friends from school on there?
Like some of them. My close ones. And sometimes you'd talk to a crush and then it would be bad, so you wouldn't do it anymore. But it would be my 2 closest friends probably I would talk to on AIM. But then you get into like the further internet, like growing up a little bit into early teens or whatever, and then you start meeting people on Zanga or whatever.
Oh.
And then you start talking to them on AIM.
Got
like
it.
you exchange the AIM screen names.
Got it.
We didn't do numbers because we didn't fucking have numbers. Like, or you couldn't remember text messaging cost like $1 per text or something insane.
Yeah.
I remember one time Lil Cam got a like $500 phone bill or something because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do that anymore.
Yep. I remember telling my dad, like, I'm being left out of stuff. I need text messaging in college. Anyway.
Yeah. In college? That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, it was my freshman year. I was like, I didn't have texts and I was missing like rehearsal updates. I was missing stuff because everyone would just text each other.
Yeah. That's insane.
God.
That's really crazy.
I know it is.
I definitely had texting in high school at least.
I didn't. I had, my mom gave me her like cell phone. She had like a Nokia.
Yeah.
And she would give me it for like special things. Like if the high school band was going to a thing.
Did you feel like that was, in any way, did you feel like that was like stifling, or compare it to your friends who had different, and be like, I wish my parents gave me more freedom?
No, because I had a car immediately. Like when I was 15, I got my driver's license. So I immediately had a car. 15. I don't know how, but like in Louisiana, it was like 15.
Playing it fast and loose down there. Let's Bonte Roulette. You know?
Yeah. So I had a car, and my parents also trusted me a lot. I could do anything I wanted.
It sounds like you were literally one of the most trustworthy kids in the world from things you said about your childhood.
I was a great kid.
Yeah.
No, so I would like go out and I would go do whatever, like maybe I had like a work thing I had to do for my dad, but then the rest of the time I could do whatever I wanted. So if I was like going to go out in the quarter or something, they would just be like, mom would be like, be safe.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And there were only a couple of times where I kind of got in trouble for stuff that I can remember pretty specifically, but, And actually, now that I think about it, my high school girlfriend's family had a plan and she was on it and they added me to it. And I got a Motorola Razr.
Of course.
It was pink. And I remember that. And I had that the last year.
So telling.
What's up? I had that the last year, my senior year of high school. And I remember my parents being like, that's kind of weird. But they didn't like care. They didn't say anything about it. So I had a phone from being on her family's plan.
Huh.
But then, we went to college and I got dropped.
Parted ways.
And then I got a phone for college.
What'd you have? The Nokia?
No,
Different Nokia?
actually, I can't. I think it was an iPhone. I think my first one was an iPhone.
That's crazy. Maybe we did have those in college.
Well, there was a moment where I had not a BlackBerry,
Sidekick. What?
A Blackjack maybe.
I
It
don't
had
even- I don't
the
know what that
buttons on it that would be really loud. They were so loud.
I have
and
no
you put
idea.
different covers on it. It was not a BlackBerry.
I
think it was
the
called a
Nokia that you
Blackjack.
could put the different covers on.
It was not that. It was a Blackjack.
That's a implement to hit people with. Anyway, my
I don't know.
phone and oh, do you remember what your ringtone was? That on the Razr specifically, or after? That's fine because you've limited cell phone experience here.
No.
I wish.
But I had a Motorola Rocker as well, which was the
Oh, I
first
remember
time
that. You
phone
could
with
play
iTunes.
MP3s on or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
I
bad.
remember that was awesome to me. I was like, holy shit, this
Future
is
is
cool.
now.
Anyway, yeah.
I had my first cell phone was in high school at some point. I'm pretty sure it may have been before, but whatever. It was a little Nokia brick, just a rectangle, whatever. And you memorized T9 so you could text without even looking.
God, I forgot
and
what
just be
T9
like hammering those buttons.
Yeah.
While staring at your teacher and being like, and I had a flame decal cover.
Fuck yeah.
And my ringtone was a MIDI version of Killing in the Name of. So it'd be like, bing, 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 like, because they were all MIDI. Like, that's what they all had to be, the ringtones back then.
Ding-dong.
And you could
Ding-a-ling.
download them off the internet and do this like convoluted ass thing to get it on your phone. Through a text message like it was not.
Wow.
It's bananas how we went about those things.
You did that on the on your little
a-
Motorola.
yeah.
And then you got a Razr at some point.
It was on the Nokia, and then I did get a Razr like down the line. or
That was
whatever.
a cool ass phone.
I think at the time we were like, there's something about,
Yeah.
and then the like done with that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That did feel good.
Yeah. Also, it was the first camera one, I think, that I had. The Razr had a camera on it.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It looked like a potato.
Yeah, it was shit. Back in the day.
The more that I remember about high school too, my like best friend in high school had a phone, and I always felt like we were really cool and really close. And I always felt like I was like, oh well, he's got a phone, so I'm good.
Oh, like you could just use it.
Yeah, like I felt like safe or something. Like I felt it was like we're good. Like we have access to
I feel like that tracks.
whatever.
Well, we were going from where's the nearest payphone
Yeah.
or whatever to call your parents to that. So
Like we just missed beepers.
they were there. We just didn't use them.
I remember my dad
My dad's
having
beeper was popping
Yeah.
off. I remember the beeper number still in my little head.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid and having a beeper that because I wanted to be like my dad. So he had a
Toy beeper.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it had gum in it, and I used to wear it.
You're just like, yeah, fuck yeah.
It's so crazy to think about that because like it feels like this was like a million years ago.
It's weird that you.
A toy beeper.
It's cool because it shows that you had like a pretty good childhood overall.
Yeah.
in whatever ways, and that you like looked up to your dad that much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love my dad. My dad's cool
Yeah.
as shit, and he's like the American dream as a Cuban immigrant, but
Yeah.
never would I want to follow in his footsteps and be a doctor or some shit.
I feel like that happened because of like my dad having like a business and like going out and like seeing clients and things.
You saw
I was
him
always
being,
with
like-
him. Yeah, so
Yeah.
everyone would always like, see me with him and stuff, and like I think that's where that kind of came from.
That makes sense.
You know?
And talking about the early internet, were you on vampirefreaks.com maybe? Possibly. If you were, you would probably really like our Patreon because there's a lot of similar content. Anyway, that's what?
You're gonna want to go there.
Yeah, you should. Definitely. It's not, it is also kind of a Zanga adjacent. I do post a lot of my feelings. It's not so much a live journal. There's more control than that. I'm on the layout with
heavy
HTML.
moderated.
Yeah. I pick a different username every month depending on what my fixated movie is.
God.
You know, it's White Oleander. I say Resplendent Astrid. Anyway, patreon.com/The Corn Corner. We're streaming on Twitch now. You can find when we do that on our socials, Instagram.com/Corn Corner HQ.
We're making big moves.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch this space.
Big things coming.
All right, so big things have already came because they're there. So go check them out. Now, okay, social media.
Yeah.
You're great at it.
That's been my life from day one on that computer.
I know. So, you were on Zanga, LiveJournal, eBomb World. How are all these different?
I wouldn't say eBombs World is a social media thing.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's just a flash site. There's cartoons and games and...
Oh, it's like the things that were memes before memes.
Sure, yeah. A funny pick. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Or Newgrounds was similar. But I think AOL was the first social media because it was a way to connect with people.
Okay.
Whatever. And there were forums and shit like that I wasn't really a part of, but it was in the chat rooms. Anyway. Then the Zangas and the live journals, which are just... I don't think we knew this then, but it is just blogging.
Yeah.
Twitter is very much the same as what that was. Like it wasn't precious. You wouldn't be, what's my post going to be today? It was just, here's this thought, blah, blah, like little journal entry, blurb, whatever. Some people took it really seriously and did poetry or whatever. You know, it's just like Tumblr in that way.
Okay.
But much less photo focused. Many words.
I didn't really even know what Tumblr was until I met you.
For real?
Yeah,
You were,
like
on Tumblr?
not a zero. As a user or a poster.
That's weird.
I didn't even know you were on Tumblr.
Oh, I was on Tumblr.
Oh, I know. And trust me, everyone tells me. People are like, yeah, you know, Cam goes to Tumblr. And I'm like, I literally
It's so
no
stupid.
idea what Tumblr was.
It's also really dumb because, like, I hate the phrase Tumblr famous.
Yeah.
It's stupid and it is totally non-consequential, like inconsequential.
Yeah.
What's that good for? Nothing.
Well,
But the way I got Tumblr famous, if you want to call it that, which is like a little popular in very specific circles, was because of butt gifs.
wow.
That's it. Shitty,
amazing.
Not shitty. Low quality
Yeah.
butt jiggling gifs
Wow.
in like sophomore year of college, making them in my apartment.
How did you make the GIFs?
Literally recording on my Mac webcam, my MacBook webcam.
Yeah.
And just one of those, there's probably some site that was a GIF maker thing
Wow.
and did that.
Did you put captions and stuff?
On like, if I posted on Tumblr?
Yeah.
Sure. But it was probably just,
Like a Nine Inch Nail thing?
no, it was probably just like, here, look at my ass. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
We got more serious when we started to do the self-portrait stuff.
Gotcha.
But we didn't lead with
Yeah.
that. We led with the butt jiggle gifts.
And this was just for the love of it.
Yeah, because I am
Yeah.
a whore. I've always been like an exhibitionist.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a big thing that led me to the internet proclivity, because it was a way to be seen by others without being seen by others.
That makes sense. That makes total sense.
You have the like huge barrier, which I love.
Yeah. See, like I don't think I ever had any
Inclination.
to do that. You had a Zanga?
Yeah, so many.
What do you mean so many?
It was a thing where like I don't know if this was everyone's experience on there, but I know it was me and my one sister's, who is the other emo one in the family, where you would make a profile and then the username would not reflect you anymore. So you'd make a new one and have a new username that whatever was more.
Yeah. How did you get followers on it?
It was just friends and stuff.
Got it.
But people would happen upon it probably, and there would be groups, like 9 Inch Nails groups or things like that.
Were there people that were like Zynga famous? Like huge Zynga profiles?
I don't remember that specifically. There probably were. I know LiveJournal had things like that, but I wasn't as on there. It was all Zynga and BME Zine were my like main ones. And there were BME famous people. That's the body modification site.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was like,
What? That one's also niche.
yeah, super niche.
Yeah.
I did make a Zynga, but I immediately didn't understand what it was.
Like what you're supposed to do on it.
Yeah. Like I had no idea.
Put little thoughts out there.
I didn't have any. It was, I want to play
No
Guitar
thoughts,
Hero
head
today.
empty.
You know? It was like,
I mean, it was certainly a place for angst. All
Yeah.
of those. It wasn't just to go be a normal. And be like, I don't know, school's pretty good today.
yeah. I don't know. I was like, I was really into Parkway Drive then.
What's that? A band?
It was like, yeah, like it was like a metalcore band.
Okay.
Probably would have just written about them or something. I don't know.
That would have been acceptable.
But I don't even know what I would have said about them. But like, I like them.
They're pretty cool.
I feel like I really like this band. So then, okay, so after Zynga, one day that kind of just fell to the wayside.
I feel like Tumblr and maybe MySpace took the forefront on things.
Did you have a MySpace?
Yes. Like long before Tumblr. Tumblr wasn't until college, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And
MySpace was high school.
you didn't do Facebook ever?
I did in high school and college.
Okay.
Until I left my first 2 years.
Got it. And then
And
you're
then
like,
got rid of
fuck
it.
this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to, these people don't know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
And now all I do, like Kessler and another friend are like all I talk to from there.
Yeah. So you, and then you, Instagram, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And then
When did
Twitter.
that start?
That started, I remember, it must have been like 2012
Yeah.
or so.
Mine was before, it was after graduating college, but before going and like moving to Minnesota, whatever I did.
Yeah.
Because I remember that. I remember doing travel model stuff and posting on there. So probably was like 2012 or 2013. And then those took over. I wasn't on Twitter very much until the past few years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Instagram, and again, I didn't like really care, know what it was. So I would just post dumb shit.
That's what it was though.
Yeah. And then it became,
Curated.
yeah, vital to my
Yeah.
life. And I was like, oh God, this sucks.
I
fucking
miss
hate this.
the like the days of social media being a more community focused thing. But
Yeah.
whereas niche communities that you didn't have access to in life,
Yeah.
which is I feel like is what it should be, but places like Twitter and Instagram don't set up for that exactly.
Well, also, I mean, like we're sitting here talking about this on a podcast. So obviously, like social media is a means for us to connect with people, to put our art out there.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's very different for us now than like someone who isn't using it for that.
Yeah, it definitely is that now. I used it for nudity as soon as I could.
Trust me, we know.
Yeah. We really went for that. But the things like that BME site, I was super active on there and got a specific piercings so I could get on the like social media platform
cool.
of it, because you had to write an experience
Yeah.
to get access to it. And I was
That's
like,
so
I gotta
cool.
do something that's like worth it.
Wow.
So I got the double tongue piercings.
Wow.
Which was hell.
Yeah, I bet.
But then wrote about that and got my little username thing. And that was before I was 18.
Wow.
And-
Really?
Yeah.
How did you hide that from your parents?
What, the tongue piercings?
Yeah.
I had like done that before also.
Oh,
My
okay.
mom found out because she found a receipt. And I was like, whoop. I also went to college when I was 17.
Okay.
So whatever. Anyway.
We got a little smarty pants.
Yeah, you know. But I remember waiting, like turning 18 and being like, ooh, I can go on the adult forum on BME Zine.
God.
Where people post nakedness. And that, but it wasn't weird. There was like people my own age cohort. So it
wasn't
creepy at the time.
I get you.
Yeah. We were all just like weird teens or early 20s, like late teens, early 20s. Yeah.
I guess with forums, we all know and love Brooks, and he was on them. Like guitar forums, like there's this one called 5/8, and it was like a nerdy guitar.
Is it like 5/8 time?
That was like what it was like based around, yeah. And it was like where he would talk about like Dream Theater and like all this shit.
Dream Theater.
That's his favorite band.
It is?
Yeah.
What a fucking nerd.
I think he would say that his favorite band of all time is Dream Theater, but his like current favorite band is probably Periphery. But honestly, it's like, it's just like that's just like the progression of like
prog rock.
Yeah, exactly. Also, the guitarist for Periphery, Jake, I believe, is the nephew of John Petrucci. I think.
Who's in Dream Theater?
Correct.
I don't know.
Anyway, he would be on that forum. They would talk or whatever. And then, speaking of Periphery, they started on a forum too, and Brooks found them there.
Like what?
There is the guitarist, like founder of Periphery. His name's Misha. He went by a name called Bulb, and he would post these there was this like metal forum essentially, and he would just like post demos and stuff. And then that's how they kind of got going. And there are like a lot of guitarists from in the scene there. It's like
weird.
I think like Tesseract's guitarist was on there.
They just like met on there and were like, hey, let's do a band.
People would just like post their like guitar
riffs,
things, their stuff, and then like a lot of those people that were there are like now like in bands like doing stuff, and they would like cool. It was like a little community of like people making like gent music and stuff.
Gent.
Anyway, so he would do that, and I don't know, there was never anything like forum wise that I tried to get. Actually, there's a home recording show. They were like this podcast really early on. It was called the Home Recording Show or something like that, and they had a forum. And I tried to get into that.
But that's in the last, 5 years.
No, that was in college.
Oh, okay.
And I remember just talking about being I knew what an SM58 was, which is like a most common vocal mic in the world. And that was all I knew.
You're just
so
it's
I couldn't even contribute to it.
But did you have fun reading the things that other people were posting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's still nice. I wasn't always contributing to stuff. I really just like chatting with people. But do you finish what you're going to say? Because I have a thing to go to. I was going to say, we haven't talked about the most terrible and important forum of the internet, which is 4chan. Where I was very present for a while.
Okay. I said, as a user or as a contributor?
Both.
Okay.
So
am I confusing 4chan with Tumblr? Because I hate to say this, but I don't know anything on 4chan other than it's bad.
You shouldn't. Yeah, it is bad. There's a ton of different boards that you can post in.
Okay.
And I was most often in /B, which is random.
Okay.
Or I was on /fit or on 420chan because I smoked weed then, whatever. Yeah.
It's weird to think about.
Yep, it's a whole thing. Brad introduced it to me. Terrible. Anyway, awful place. Like the bowels of the internet's bowels.
Wow.
But that's where I also first really started posting nudes.
Okay.
Because it was random was such a weird board where it's just people shit posting.
Okay.
Before I knew what that was.
Yeah.
It was just memes and stupid stories and random shit, or there would be a whole thread. Because that's how it worked. You went to the forum and there were threads. And you would click on whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to read this thread and engage with it. And then you could bump the thread and it would make it go to the top of the B list.
Okay.
So more people would see it. Whatever. Anyway, it was the funniest place, but it also had terrible, obviously there's awful people on any internet place.
Sounds like Reddit.
Yeah, it is, but even more anonymous.
Wow.
It was full on anonymous if you chose that. But because I was a Chan poster or whatever, I did the like picture with the date and time to show that. It was, like, yeah. Like if I posted on a thread there, and in retrospect, I'm like, God, like it's like so stupid and embarrassing. But at the time, I was like, this is fucking fun. Like this is a blast. I'm of age, and this is like whatever. And these guys are cool, and they like me because I'm flat. Like, and that like I'm a weird whatever like dude thing, but am hot girl to them. Whatever.
Yeah.
So like you just would post a picture like that and be like, what's up guys? And then people would like start requesting you to do shit, and you would either fuck with them and say no, or you would like put in a Sharpie in your butt.
Wow.
Which we have.
Yes. I know about that, but I thought that was on Tumblr for some reason.
No, that was 4chan.
Gotcha.
Pre-Tumblr. Although they were a little bit in rapid succession.
So Tumblr was more about like, this is like my art. And 4chan was like, this is more just like
my butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tumblr didn't start because I didn't start doing the self-photography stuff until a few years on Tumblr.
Yeah.
And I was doing webcam selfies, but that still wasn't for like a year on there.
I like those webcam selfies.
I do too. I kind of want to do it again. Yeah.
But I feel like, honestly, this is a big statement, but I'm not sure you could do them now because you know too much.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know anything then.
And
you didn't
also
have a
that was
camera.
what the camera was.
Yeah.
That's all for everyone.
And like in context, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But like you'll never be able to make that
It's like
again.
a joke to do that now. Like if you just started posting webcam selfies on Twitter, people would be like, oh, haha, fun.
Yeah.
And then in a few days, they'd be like, are you still...
You should challenge yourself to do it. I bet that would be like a really good
like only shoot with my webcam.
Yeah, like artistic exercise. Where like
I wonder what kind of in-camera effects I could do, like I do with the gauze on my camera.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
It could be fun. I'd try it. Anyway, don't go on 4chan, anyone.
Don't go on 4chan, especially now because it's not really.
Yeah, it's even worse. It is still there, but it's bad. Like it's way worse now, I think.
Yeah, don't go on.
And it was already bad. I am glad for it though. I'm glad for my time there. I learned a lot about a lot of things I would not have otherwise.
Yes.
Like trans people.
Yeah, I wish I would have been exposed to that earlier.
It wasn't the best way, probably, but
absolutely it wasn't.
It was Bailey J. So
yeah,
they weren't using the best terminology.
Yeah, which it's like nothing against Bailey.
No.
Like,
this isn't about.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to clarify. It's like absolutely nothing against her. It's like trailblazer. Like she's awesome, but like I think that. Like like porn works on exploiting microaggressions against marginalized people.
Yeah.
That is pornography, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what trans people are in porn a lot of the times.
Lean into it, especially trans femme people.
And especially in that time.
Yeah.
Like when, it's like I like talk to a bunch of people about changing terminology on websites. Mm-hmm. And a big thing people say is like, at least it's not X anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but also
like, I'm glad you're not saying trap anymore, but like
yeah.
The storyline is still always surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing,
What's got dark?
It got real. It got real.
I want to talk about actually, that does kind of lead into a segue of talk for like 5 minutes about it. The prawns on the internet. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure if you had the LimeWire and the Kazaa and stuff, you were just downloading music or music videos.
I mean, I probably tried to download some prawn.
Yeah.
But I don't think
you would have done it on the family computer.
No, and also I'd never successfully downloaded anything. So it wasn't really about it was more about intelligence level with using the computer,
okay. Not for lack of wanting.
Yeah. It was but there are websites. I don't know if you know or not, but you can type in a www and see things.
Yeah. That was more dangerous though, because that could be traced easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't know anything about it, but
well, that was a thing. I did download hentai on the family computer.
How were you confronted about that?
I think I said that I thought it was a music video, and that
Like I thought it was Clint Eastwood Gorillaz.
yeah, and that whatever, and it worked. It like did work or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was before the family computer got moved to the basement, and then once it was in the basement, all bets are off.
I think that they moved it to the basement because
of that. Yeah.
I guarantee there's not a single person that that thought you were downloading a music video.
Yeah. And then we were on the AOL chat rooms and on actually there's a site called funpic.hu. It was like a German site that I would look at like dirty comics on. Like,
Do you still like those?
I do. I love them. The drawings are like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never went to like the actual sites and stuff. I wasn't a big consumer of that.
Yeah.
Oddly, I don't know. Or getting whatever Skinamax. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in
That
our,
was weird.
our age
Yeah.
has done that.
People were sneaking that.
Oh, well, like blurry.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
or like HBO had like real sex on.
Yeah,
Like,
I thought
and
you
you'd be
meant
like,
I didn't have HBO though, so it was like always off limits.
yeah. Okay. Still.
Um,
I didn't do any secret websiting beyond like the drawing things though. I was on the horrible ones, the scary ones, as we
Yeah.
know. But
well, that's next episode.
where we talk about Ron.com and Ogrish. Now live leak. Anyway.
I hope you enjoyed coming along with us.
Really summing it up here.
We talked about the internet older.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about internet newer.
Next episode? What do you mean?
Maybe in another episode.
Oh, okay. You said now. Seems impending.
Now could be now or now a little bit in the future.
Now or later.
On that note, hey, you shocked?
Am I saying it? I never know what you're doing here. Are we trading?
I'll follow your lead.
It doesn't matter if you're shucked.
Or if you're cream.
It doesn't matter what kind of corn you are.
It doesn't matter what kind of corn you are.
Just be a kind of corn.
Just be
Why are you just repeating what I'm saying?
I didn't mean to. Well, everyone, be nice to each other, even if you are corn or not.